What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode on Keeping It Real with Credit. My name is Ray, and today we're going to be talking about debt collectors. What can they do? What can they not do? And what you can do to keep them in check right now. If you find yourself having bad credit or no credit at all, it's important to find out that life is not over. One of the first steps you can take on healthier credit is obtaining a free credit report on annualcreditreport.com. Banks, insurance companies, and even employers are looking into your credit to find out just the type of person you are. Annualcreditreport.com is a website given to you by the federal government that lets you obtain one free credit report a year. Based on a recent study from the Federal Trade Commission, 1 out of every 5 Americans have an error on their credit report big enough to cause them to get denied or pay a higher interest rate than what they're supposed to be paying. Now, having a collection on your credit report, we can all agree, can be stressful and sometimes even detrimental. Approximately 30 million Americans right now have at least one debt in collections. And if you're one of those, I'm pretty sure you're getting those annoying phone calls. Now, thanks to the federal government, they've created something that's called the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Basically, it's a set of laws that debt collectors should be following when attempting to collect a debt. Any violation of those laws can result in costing them up to $1,000 per violation. This means lining your pockets up with more money. Now, to touch up a little bit more about this topic, I decided to reach out to a good friend of mine, Kevin Deeb, a consumer attorney out here in the Coral Gables, Florida. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? It's
Great.
Always nice seeing you. All right,
Same here, Ray.
You know, when it comes to debt collectors, and I'm sure you've come across a lot of cases, what are some of the most craziest things you ever heard as an attorney?
Ray, there's a lot of them. A couple of years ago, there was a story out of Cleveland where a debt collector hired police officers, fake police officers, picked up the debtors, would take them back to their headquarters where they had actually set up an elaborate courtroom with a judge in a robe and jurors, and they put them through trial, and at the end gave them a judgment and made them think that they were going through an actual trial. And of course, that came to light. They arrested everyone and sued them, so that was stopped. But of course, there's plenty of other examples. Most of them occur over the phone. I've also heard of stories where debt collectors actually show up at their houses and knock on their doors. The Federal Debt Collection Practices Act protects a consumer from harassing tactics by the debt collector.
Got it. Now, debt collectors, when they call or even come and visit, are they required to identify themselves?
Absolutely. They have to tell you who they are, who they're calling on behalf of, and who the original creditor was. Absolutely, yes.
So now, with that being said, what are some of the things that debt collectors are not allowed to do?
Well, the first thing, Ray, is that they can't call you before 8 in the morning or after 9 o'clock at night. They also can't harass you. What does that mean? Well, they can't incessantly call you. They can't use profanity. They can't threaten you with violence. They also can't call your employer when they know that your employer prohibits that. And that's a tactic that they use because they know that they'll get you in trouble with your employer. Another thing that they can't do is call pretending to be a police officer or calling from a state or federal agency. They also can't threaten you with a lawsuit. They can't threaten you with wage garnishment, particularly when they don't even have a judgment, or, for that matter, bank garnishment or a car levy.
Whenever a debt collector calls, they often mention that the call is being recorded. Are they allowed to record?
Well, it depends on the state. In Florida, both parties need to know that it's being recorded. In some states, only one. But here in Florida, when they tell you that they're recording the call, they're letting you know. That way, both parties know that it's being recorded. The same token, once that's done, you can record it. Just make sure that when you record the call, that you record that part of the call which says that it's being recorded. That way, everything is legal.
All right. And as an average consumer, how can you get debt collectors to stop calling, especially at your place of employment?
Well, first of all, you need to let them know not to call you. On the phone, it's hard to verify it because they'll lie and say that you never said that. So the best thing to do is to send it in writing. When you do get your first call, you can ask them to verify it. Again, do it in writing. Once you send the letter asking them to verify, all debt collections has to cease for at least 30 days. However, 30 days goes by pretty quickly. So the best thing to do is to send them a letter telling them to stop calling, and make sure you send it certified with return receipt so you have proof that you sent it. If they call you again after enough time that they've been able to process that letter, it is an FDCPA violation, and you're entitled to, whatever the reward you're able to get.
So having a debt in collection sucks, and everything about it is stressful. The fact of the matter is that you shouldn't stress, because there's an ocean of information out there, anywhere from the internet to contacting your local debt consumer attorney for what your options are. Let's face it, debt collectors have a job to do, but there's a certain line that they can't cross. And if you just finished watching this video, well, you know exactly what to do. My name is Ray, and here's to keeping it real. Signing off.